So for the first two sections of our homework today, they are review. So let's only do like one example from each of those just to remind you how to do it. So in this first category, why does it say it's wrong when I didn't even do it? Okay, whatever. Okay, so for this first category, let's take a look and see how we do this. We got x squared plus x minus 30, and we want to factor this. So just to remind you guys how to factor, you draw this x. We're going to do this x factoring method. This seems to be the method that you guys like better anyways. So then you're going to take this negative 30, put it up here. And so you're going to think of two numbers that multiply to negative 30. And then what do you put on the bottom? You put the coefficient of that. And then I don't see a number, so that just means it's a 1. Technically, it's a positive 1 because it's a plus x. So it's a plus 1x. So I'm going to put a positive 1 there, and you want these numbers to add to positive 1. Then you think to yourself, what two numbers can multiply to negative 30 and add to 1? So if you think about that, I can think of 5 and 6. So if I do positive 6 and negative 5, let's take a look. Positive 6 multiplies by negative 5, you're going to get negative 30. So this works. What about when you add them? 6 plus negative 5, that gives you positive 1. And so that works as well. So now we got our two numbers, 6 and negative 5. So what does that mean? That means you have an x here and an x here. The 6 is a plus 6. The negative 5 is a minus 5. So our factored form is x plus 6, x minus 5. Are there any questions for this one? All right, so it doesn't seem like we have any questions, so I'm going to submit this answer, x plus 6, x minus 5. And we got it right, which is exactly what we expected. So let me clear this screen. And let's go to the other category where we do pretty much the same thing, except this time there's an a value that's greater than 1. So this time there's a number in front of x squared. So a very similar method, it's just slight differences. So let me draw my x. Okay, so what goes on the top? You're going to take the 14 and the 2 and multiply it. So what is 14 times 2? That gives me 28. So you're going to think of two numbers that multiply to 28. And then what goes on the bottom? We have the 11, positive 11. So I want our two numbers to add to positive 11. And then we're going to make these fractions. What goes on the bottom of our fraction is the a value. So I'm going to put both of these fractions over 2. Now on the numerators, right there where I put my circles, we're going to think of two numbers that multiply to 28 and add to 11. So when I think about that, I think 4 and 7 will multiply and add to those numbers. So let's check. 4 times 7, that gives me 28. We're good. What about 4 plus 7? That gives me 11. Also works. So here are our two fractions. Let's simplify our fractions. 4 divided by 2 is just 2. What about 7 over 2? 7 over 2 is just 7 over 2. There's no simplifying this because it's as simplified as it gets. So what do we do with these two numbers? Well, remember you have your x and then you have your x. So the 2 is just a plus 2. That's good as it is. What about the 7 over 2? The denominator goes over here, so it's 2x, and the 7 is a plus 7. So we have x plus 2 times 2x plus 7. I'm going to pause the recording here and see if you guys have any questions while I type out into the answer box. All right, so I just typed it in. Remember, you can put the 2x plus 7 in the front. It doesn't matter if this one's in the front or back. You can switch the order. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter either way. It will be correct. So I'm going to submit this. And we got it right. So let's clear all these drawings. And let's go solve some of the next category. And I'm going to make that in a new video.